92.1 The Wolf. It is Skip Clark, and I know tomorrow night's the big night. It's Scout Power. It's happening up at the Dome, and with me on the line is, of course, our guest for Scout Power. You may remember the name, whether it's the Olympics, whether it's a football game, but Mike Tirico, how are you, my friend?
Skip, good to be on with you. Looking forward to being back in town.
Yeah, it's going to be so exciting. Now, you are a graduate of the Newhouse School.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Can I ask, what originally drew you to SU and, of course, the Newhouse School of Communications?
Sure. I grew up in New York, and there are a bunch of great sportscasters with ties into New York and Syracuse, including Marty Glickman from back in the day, but maybe of a more current ilk than that was Bob Costas and Marv Albert and Dick Stockton, and those were the people who I thought were just terrific. And when I found out that all of them went to Syracuse and how great the Newhouse School was and the communications program, I wanted to be part of it. Honored to have been a part of it and have remained part of it on the advisory board for the school with so many friends. Every time, Skip, we go somewhere to do a game, I invariably run into a Syracuse alum who's in the media industry in that city. The broad swath of Syracuse alums is really something special to see.
When I hear that, I think of Bob Costas, and I worked with him back in the day as well. He was just, he was doing the sports, and I was doing the on-air as a radio personality. Just a lot of fun and a lot of big names, and you're a good example of this, that have gone through SU, the Newhouse School, and everybody's gone to a higher level, and congrats on all that, though. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we're proud of our affiliation with Syracuse, and then I worked there for 3 years after in local TV, so really 7 years there. I got to know not just the campus and the campus community, but the city, the suburbs, working at the State Fair every year, doing the newscast from out there, working with TV legends like Ron Curtis and Maureen Green, and Syracuse's own Kathy Orr, who's still a friend, and she works in Philadelphia. So it's been a great throw for me.
Yeah, a lot of memories there. What advice would you give to a current Syracuse student that's dreaming of a career in the media or, let's say, sportscasting, such as you?
Yeah. Take your time so I can finish out my run. Don't replace me just yet. But, it really is a great combination of preparation to be involved in campus media, but also it's not just about your communications or journalism degree. I dual majored in political science, have maintained an interest in things outside of sports, and I think that's really important. Sometimes a lot of folks come just with one specific goal, and the way this business is, as you know, it's such a odd-shaped road that we travel when we cover media, sports, music, DJ, you name it, hosting. So you just have to be ready to do everything. So get a full skill set, have a bunch of clubs in the bag that you can hit, and then know when the right opportunity is to be in the right place.
Now, you've covered everything, as you mentioned, like the Olympics, the Monday Night Football. I know recently you were at the Derby. However, I hope you're okay, because that made big time.
I am.
News.
Thanks for asking. I'm doing fine, but I do appreciate you asking. And unwittingly or willingly became part of the story, but also some sort of a poster guy, if you will, for the food allergy. And this is Food Allergy Awareness Month. So if we can spread the word and it helps somebody, then it was for a good reason.
How do you prepare for such a wide range of sports and events? How do you get all that down?
Yeah, it's a question I get most commonly, and I think it's really just enjoying sports. I still love sports, love watching games, love going to games, and stay interested in a lot of different sports, and that keeps my interest up. I think sometimes if you get too involved in a sport, then maybe you are missing a bigger picture story. You're not doing as much storytelling. You're not and that doesn't mean that there aren't people who are great who cover one sport. But for my personality and my style, I like having multiple sports to cover. And the Olympics just provides the perfect canvas to be able to do that, where you're covering such a wide variety of sports, from track and field to curling to you name it, depending on summer or winter. And you can do all those things. So I've found the perfect job for me as the primetime host of the Olympics on NBC now since 2018 for my skill set, my interest level, and love that I get to be a part of that yet again this coming winter.
Get all those airline miles as well.
You do that, but then you don't really want to use them on vacation. You're happy to stay home and not go anywhere after you've been on the road for 35 or 40 weekends a year.
Yeah. Is there a moment on air you wish you could do over?
Not yet. No, knock on wood. I mean, I would have loved to have made it through the show the other day, but Not on air. No, I haven't had one of those
That's a
knock on
good
wood bloopers that have shown up in YouTube fame and get often repeated. So I've been very lucky and fortunate to avoid that. And that's the joy of our job. You get one shot at it, and that's why I love live TV, live radio, live communicating with folks.
Absolutely,
it's a unique skill. And a lot of people are critical of announcers, understandably so. And then I always say, well, it's really easy when you're sitting behind a typewriter or a keyboard now, and you can just backspace, delete, or have an editor look at it. When you get one shot to do it, there's a different kind of pressure, and I just love that and love thriving in that environment whenever possible.
Yeah, with all the digital media side of things going on now, how do you handle negativity?
Yeah, it's part of it. I think you take all criticism that is fair and honest and well-intentioned to heart. That you don't find perfect in this job. You could have 100 different word choices on a regular basis. You could say many, many different things, and you can go back and wish you did things better. So that's fine. I think criticism is legit. It's good. Look, it's the oxygen of sports conversation, criticism, right?
There's a lot of that.
But you also know that there's a mean-spirited, negative tone to some of it that you just eliminate because it's just coming from a place of anger. Or, I try not to live my world in that negative space all that often when it comes to what we do and how we do it. You try to be your best, try to be critical, and criticism is very fair, and there are ways to do our job better at times, but that's fine. We are all subject to it and understand it. I think if you spend time looking at what people say, being critical of you, you're going to end up just driving yourself insane.
So you're hopping on a plane, you're flying to the Q's, and tomorrow night is the Scout Power event, as I mentioned earlier. It's going to be at the Dome up on SU, the campus, so you're going to feel right at home. But it's exciting to have you there because you've been there, you've done it. And what role has leadership played in your career, and how do you define it?
It's a great question. First off, we're there honoring, I think, somebody who's been a terrific leader, and that's Ken Siverud, Chancellor at Syracuse. I'm involved in the university, proudly so, and have had a much closer seat than I otherwise would have to the last decade or so. When you look at the campus, you just look at the Dome. You look at that arena that a lot of us have been going to since the 80s.
Oh, my God.
And what it looks like now looks nothing like it did 5-10 years ago. And just the constant improvements, and the campus is beautiful, and the academic reputation of the school is shining. That's great leadership I've seen with Chancellor Siverud. I'm so thrilled that he's being honored, an Eagle Scout in his own right from his days of growing up. Leadership to me is by example, what you do, how you do, and then a willingness to bring people along with you. One, to support and help you and share good ideas, but also to make sure that the next generation has an opportunity that you had to succeed and make things better. And that's been the way I try to lead. I try to stay involved in the lives of a lot of Syracuse alums in the media industry, other people I work with, and just be a good example. Don't get outworked. Nothing's too big for you to do, and just do your best, and everyone has a voice. When we can kind of approach things like that, I think we have a healthy, better work environment. And I've been blessed to work with some great people in great places who've taught me that, and hopefully I'm passing along their lessons to others now.
So pretty much what lessons, let me ask you, what lessons from sports and broadcasting do you think are most valuable for the Scouts preparing for life beyond high school?
Yeah, I mean, we live in a world of preparation. You don't get on the air and start talking about a football or a basketball team or a figure skater at the Olympics without being prepared, without knowing as much as you can. You don't go to a broadcast without being prepared for what might happen. You come with all the tools you need. All of those things we do are what they do. And then you have to be, almost think about the old days when people played Little League baseball first instead of soccer. And they always told you to kind of bend your knees and be on the balls of your feet and be ready to go in any direction. And I think that's what we do in broadcasting. We prepare as much as possible. We're up on the balls of our feet. We're ready to go in any direction the game takes us. And I think scouting does a great job of doing that. And, at the end of the day, we try to and hope that we have made your day better. Sports in the media is entertainment. If you've watched the game, if you've enjoyed the game, if we've taught you something about the sport, if we've told you something about an individual that might inspire you, then we've done that. So you try to leave your couple of hours of time with an individual who's watching a little bit better in their enriched life than it was maybe before they turned on the TV, and make them feel good that they did it.
I love
so
that.
That's some of the stuff that we do that probably would be applicable across the board for the scouts who are there and their parents and families and leadership. It's a wonderful, wonderful group, and what a great history, and to be a small part of that on the night in the Dome will be a thrill for me, for sure.
It's a thrill for me. I'll be there as well with our group here. So excited to see and hear what you have to say. How many years you been? What, 35? How long have you been?
I guess so. My first time on the air was in Syracuse. That was April of 1987. So I guess I've been on TV for it's my 39th year on TV.
Jeez. God bless you.
It's going fast. And luckily, sometimes people say that and say, well, I started when I was a kid. I did start when I was 20. So at least I have that going for me. But the years are catching up. But it's still a great time to be the lead voice on Sunday Night Football, lead voice on the NBA, host the Olympics. Yep. It's a dream job, and I still love it every day.
And, what keeps you passionate, though? What keeps you say you love it every day, but there's got to be, it's just your love for the sport?
Yeah, also the people and the stories, and getting to see the country. I mean, work has taken me to most every state in our country. Work has taken me to every continent in the world except for Antarctica. I love the fact that covering sports has taken me so many different places to experience so many things. And for me now, you've been to so many things, you've seen how it plays out, and you can identify the next greats in sport or the next best people in their industry. And it's wonderful to watch how they're going about it, different ways, different training methods. In basketball, they would laugh if you shot 53 pointers. The Boston Celtics did that in a playoff game this week. So you love to watch things evolve, yet come back to where they were. Those are the things that keep me excited about it. You could cover news, and news has some great storytelling, but it's really negative. People come to sports for entertainment. Yep. They come to sports from all walks of life, male, female, different religions and genders and backgrounds and all that. That's what I love about the playpen that we get to hang out in.
Yeah, I love hearing that from you as well. One further question, where do you think all this is going, though? We got AI, we got streaming, we have social media, and it's changing the game. So where do you see the future of sports broadcasting heading?
Yeah, people wondered what would happen when the games weren't on the radio and they were going to be on TV. And then what was going to happen when they went from free TV a couple of times, maybe just on the weekend, to cable TV and on every day. And now there are channels that just carry golf and tennis and all this stuff. And it continued to have an appetite. There are adjustments, and we've made adjustments in the past. We'll make them again. The streaming situation will play out and sort out over time. The AI part of this is a little concerning, but I think it's a societal concern. It's not only in sports and the media. I think that the human ability to call a game is probably going to have some nuance that AI will never have, maybe in 50 years. But there's evolution. There's still a way to be smarter and better with the new technology. But we've all often written the story of doom and gloom. And, unless our entire species is going to no longer exist, I think we'll find a way to coexist along with the latest and greatest technologies that are out there.
We'll make it work.
Hopefully.
Use it to help us.
Or we'll be retired at that point, and hopefully the scouts in the audience will figure out Plan B.
And there you go, and we're going to see you tomorrow night. It's at the Dome at Scout Power. Mike Tirico will be our guest speaker, and it's going to be such a good time. Cannot wait to hear everything that you have to say. And I just want to say thanks for calling in today. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I know we talked before we went on here just a little bit. We used to hang like back in the day, but that was like 35 years ago. And
That's exactly right.
It was a place off the Teal.
We've established that we're seasoned and experienced, right? How about that?
Yeah, I love it. Mike Tirico, we'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks for calling.
Skip, great to be on with you. We look forward to seeing you all up at the Dome.
You got it, my friend. Take care. Travel safe.
Thank you.